Hey folks, Richard Ross from Computer Learning Zone. I know you just had to watch this video back in November, but I'm going to keep posting it until our lawmakers finally get rid of this stupid practice of changing clocks twice a year. It's dumb. And clearly, I'm not the only person who feels this way. Look at these people. This guy is so angry his legs fell off his body. And this guy brought his cello to the party. So, yeah. It's not just me. Hey folks, this is Richard Ross with Computer Learning Zone. I want to just take a minute to say that we should abolish daylight saving time once and forever. It's dumb. It's time to stop changing the clocks twice a year. DST is dumb. It causes problems with both people and computers, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. And it's time to get rid of it. So, daylight saving time was originally introduced in Germany and Austria in 1908 to conserve energy during the war. In the United States, we had the Uniform Time Act of 1966, and that's what gave us daylight saving time. And it's daylight saving time, not savings time. I know, I catch myself saying it wrong from time to time as well, and that's how dumb daylight saving time is. And of course, it's a big myth that it was to help the farmers with their crops when actually the agricultural industry lobbied against DST. They hate it. So that's a big myth. Now, Arizona, which we'll talk about in a minute, and Hawaii passed state laws to exempt themselves from DST. So they're on standard time year round. 29 other states, including where I live in Florida, have passed state laws to make DST permanent. However, and this is why it's stupid, since doing anything other than exempting yourself from DST goes against that law we talked about, it requires congressional approval because it's interstate commerce and blah, blah, blah. So we could exempt ourselves in Florida from DST, which means we'd be on standard time all year round, but we don't want that. They want to make DST permanent, so that requires congressional approval. The whole thing is dumb. And let's talk about some more craziness. Inside of Arizona, you got this mess. Arizona is exempt from DST. However, inside Arizona, you've got the Navajo Nation, which does observe DST. But then inside the Navajo Nation is the Hopi Nation, which does not observe DST. So, yeah, it's crazy. Now, the Sunshine Protection Act, introduced by two Floridians, Senator Marco Rubio and Rep. Vern Buchanan, was aimed at making DST permanent, and it's been introduced in Congress multiple times, and it's passed in the Senate, but is not passed in the House. So the House members need to get their butts moving. And no, those pictures in no way represent my feelings toward Congress. Now, in addition to being a nuisance, DST has shown to have many negative effects on humans. It can disrupt sleep patterns, mood, alertness, appetite. It messes with your circadian rhythm. Right? Even this morning, I woke up and, it was 7 o'clock, and of course, my body still thinks it's 8 o'clock. It can trigger mental illnesses like bipolar disorder and seasonal affective disorder. I had that really bad when I lived up in New York because it was dark all the time. And of course, those things are all indicators for elevated risks for cardiovascular diseases, injuries, and immune-related diseases. And these are all from scientific papers, not just my opinion. You want some references? Google it. Now, of course, this is Computer Learning Zone, so DST has also been shown to have many negative effects on technology, which is my emphasis. Switching clocks is dumb. It causes time synchronization issues, scheduled task disruptions, logging and auditing challenges, for example, time clocks with shifts that span the DST switchover. Sure, Windows itself can handle the change, but does your software calculate those differences properly? Right? If your shift starts at midnight and it ends at 8 a.m., is your time clock software properly programmed to notice that daylight saving time kicked in? I've done lots of software fixes for people that had databases or spreadsheets that wasn't the case. In fact, I remember back in 2011 when the iPhone had a huge glitch and everyone was complaining about it. Its clock fell back an hour instead of springing forward during the DST transition, and lots and lots of people had a problem waking up that morning. But of course, it's an iPhone, so what do you expect? Android forever. Anyways, if you've got Excel spreadsheets that track time clock data, the best way to do that is to use UTC, or Universal Time, basically Greenwich Mean Time. Store that in your spreadsheets. And of course, I just did a video on this a couple of days ago. There's a link. I'll put a link down below if you want to watch it. Same thing for Microsoft Access, which is my forte. If you've got a database where you're keeping track of your time clocks or any other kind of scheduling and calculating the number of hours between clock in and clock out is important, well, make sure you're using UTC Time. And here's a video on that. And yes, you can hear me complain about DST some more in these videos. And of course, I shouldn't even have to tell you how much of a pain it is to run around changing the stove, the microwave, the wall clocks, the clock in the car. It's just easier for me just a couple months out of the year just to know that my clock is wrong than to change it everywhere. Remember the VCR, right? I hate it. I still have to do it today. Today, DST we just went to standard time today. We fell back. So I'm not looking forward to it. I've got like 6 clocks I have to change. It's a pain, twice a year. All right, so instead of me just complaining about it, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to write my congressman, and I'm going to encourage as many other people as I can to write your congressman as well. There's the link. You can just Google "write to my congressman," and you'll find house.gov. All right, I'll put a link to this down below as well. You can just click on it. You type in your zip code. There's my rep, Byron Donald. And right down here, you can find a link to email them. See that little link right there? Click on that. Right, you type in your zip code right here. Don't worry about the +4. Hit submit. Or there's links up here if you'd rather Facebook them. I hate Facebook. Facebook them, tweet them, and yes, I'm going to call it tweeting. It's not Xing or whatever they're trying to do nowadays. Or there's a YouTube channel on some of them. Different congressmen have different ways to contact them. I'm going to email mine. And what do you say to them? Well, I wrote a letter. There it is. I'll put a copy of that down below too. You can find it at this page right here. DST is dumb. Feel free to copy and paste it if you want. Put your congressman's name up here, your information down there, and send it. So if you're like me and you hate daylight saving time, well, here's something we can at least try to do. I don't know if they actually read these or not, or if it has any effect or whatever, but I'm going to at least try instead of just complaining. All right, now I can check this off my list. This is my Rick's Life Missions checklist. All right, I'm going to convert the world to ISO dates. I've already done several videos on this. This is a proper date format, year, month, day. It's confusing when people around the world use it differently, and it causes software problems too. I've done a lot of videos on this, right? If you're sharing a spreadsheet with someone who's in, let's say, England, and they're doing, day, month, year, which is more logical than the way we do it here in the U.S. No, this is the way everyone should write dates. I've been putting it on my checks this way for years. And yes, I occasionally still write checks. I'm old. All right, mission 2, abolish daylight saving time. I complain about it every year. Time to do something about it. This one I don't see happening in my lifetime, or this one, right? Get everyone to use a metric system. Come on, pounds, inches, dumb. And yes, I think we should switch to a 28-day calendar. It makes more sense. January 1st is always a Monday. You'll need 13 months of 28 days each. Each month has the same number of days. Shift the month names so that October is actually the 8th month. Shift all the rest of them over. Then we got to add a 13th month. What do we call it? I don't know. Call it Rick Ember. I don't know. Then you take New Year's Day. You make it a holiday. You can either add it as the 29th day of the last month or whatever you want to do. Or make it outside of the calendar. Make it a party day. And then your leap day is election day every 4 years. And give everybody off so they can go vote. Or do online voting, which we should do, which I don't know why we don't. All right, so there we go. That's my annual tirade on abolishing daylight saving time. It's dumb. Go write your congressman. Tell him I sent you. Point him to my video. Spread the word. Share this. Let's get rid of daylight savings time forever. And yes, I know I just said savings time. That's how dumb it is. Okay, bye.